Hello and welcome to the Kani stream. TTD King Julian, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate the heck out of that. But today we are playing a long-awaited deck. Magda Changelings, sporting Mox Jasper, the newly printed Mox from Tarkir Dragonstorm, which became available on Magic Online yesterday evening. Mox Jasper asks us to control a dragon. If that is the case, then it's just a 5-color Mox that taps for any color of mana. So I built the deck in a way where we have plenty of dragons and also other artifacts to get Metalcraft, so we can play 8 Moxen. On top of that, we also have the 9th Mox Amber, but this one is not particularly good. There's just a few legends in the deck, but it might help as well. Magda, the star of the show. Whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure. And most of our creatures are changelings, so they are both dragons, dwarves, and cats, insects. I believe those are the relevant types for the deck. Also mounts for Bucolic Ranch. So we get Magda out, we get a Mothdust Changeling out, we tap our creatures to make treasures, eventually use Magda to grab a artifact or dragon from our deck, which we control an artifact changeling, of which we have 5, 4 copies of Universal Automaton and 1 free 3 Mascot. We can grab Clock of Omens, make infinite tapped treasures, and grab any amount of dragons from our deck. And artifacts, so eventually we can kill our opponent with Scourge of Valkas, or even with an Ajani 0 in some circumstances, which we could fetch Pyre of Heroes with Magda, sacrifice a creature, get Ajani, get another Pyre, sacrifice the cat, flip Ajani, and then kill our opponent with 0 because we have grabbed all of the creatures from our deck. So overall we can do some pretty funny stuff. Artifact mana, 15 lands, 9 Moxen, 4 Springleaf Drum because it synergizes with Magda as well. Imperial Recruiter, which can help find all of the required cards. It costs 3 mana, but should be no issue with the extra Moxen. Graveshifter for value, Grist for value, Extraction Specialist for value, Masked Vandal for a tutorable answer, and then Pyre of Heroes, which is also an important, I guess, part of the puzzle, which just helps assemble the Magda Mothdust Changeling combo. I'm playing 4 Mutavaults. This could be an Urza's Saga deck instead, but Mutavault is a Changeling, so it works well with Magda. You turn it into a creature and then you can just tap it for mana. You make a treasure, that's very nice. You can also use Pyre of Heroes to sacrifice a Mutavault to get a 1-drop from your deck, which otherwise is a little bit hard to grab with Pyre, so that could be a way to find Mothdust Changeling. On top of that, Specialist, of course, a good Pyre of Heroes target, Graveshifter, a good Pyre of Heroes target, and a Changeling. Scourge of Valkas is our win con card, but we can Pyre Graveshifter into it in a grindy game to just have a dragon. Ajani, another way to make a 0-cost token, which you can sacrifice to Pyre to get a 1-drop, and then you also get some extra value from this being Ajani, right? Just a good planeswalker. So, you know, it's probably the first Grist Ajani deck to ever exist. In the sideboard we have silver bullets for Imperial Recruiter to fetch more Masked Vandal against removal, Spellskite for protection, God-Pharaoh statue to fetch with Magda against combo decks, I guess. Ureni, a flying protection from white and from black. Giant Dragon to fetch with Magda against Orzhov. And 3 Spellstutter Sprite because it's also Recruiter searchable and every single creature, well, every Changeling is a fairy as well, so I thought it might be funny against combo. So that's it, that's the deck. 9 Moxen, that's more Moxen than Breach ever got to play, so, well, we'll see. Let's jump straight into a league. Do I think this Changeling crew would be good? For sure. We open with a hand with Reflecting Pool, which is incapable of producing mana, so maybe that's something we have to rethink. But we can mulligan. And this seems alright on the draw, but we do need to draw something. I think I'll put back the Mariner. Keep the Recruiter. I do need to either get Metalcraft or draw a land. That can produce a dwarf. Mana. Universal Automaton is really nice. I'll just play Springleaf Drum. Opponent is on Wooded Foothills Pass, so that could be... What exactly goes Wooded Foothills Pass? Storm? Could be Storm. Eldrazi rarely. Storm always. It's kinda it, right? That's maybe Domain Zoo. Well, that's a Storm opening if I've seen one. So how good is my deck against Storm? It's probably a slower combo deck in the matchup. But we can bring Spellstutter Sprite and God-Pharaoh statue. So we're not without options. An opponent on a weaker start. Let's name Dwarf. Red. Summon Magda. So we win next turn. I can tap Changelings end of turn, then I can just make enough treasures to win next turn and grab the Clock of Omens. You're new to MTGO, you're registered for the preliminary. There are only 5 people, so it doesn't start. What can you do? Well, you can either wait for it to be cancelled and then you will get back your entry fee, or you can drop and you will get back your entry fee. But it is relatively common for prelims to not fire depending on their time. But you can safely drop Ruby Medallion. So cross our fingers that we don't die to Manamorphose, plus the hand filtering from Artist Talent. I'll just make the treasures an F6. Two Manamorphoses is... It's certainly not great, especially since every spell loots them. Loots a card for them, or they keep discarding lands and Rals. Well, they discarded Ral first, so I guess they just should have spells still. And they did cast a Ritual, which is a bad sign because normally you would just not cast a Ritual. Stormcale Scion, holy shit, opponent is also on some new cards. I wish they would just summon many Stormcale Scions, but unfortunately with Wish they will just grab Past in Flames and win. The overpowered dragon that needs haste. Without haste, it would be pretty boring because you just play it and you win. So, well, it makes no sense to give a card like that haste, right? The issue against Storm is that my artifact enchantment removal monster will not work particularly well. Masked Vandal. Holy dwarfs, yeah. It is sad that I wasn't able to be on the play to just turn 3 kill the first game of the league, because that would make my morale go up and I would be happy about how this league goes. Now it's possible that we will never kill anyone the entire league, and that's just kind of sad. What do I think about Samwise combo? It's a fine deck. I think. But I don't know if it's better than Basking Brute Scale combo. I don't really respect Brute Scale all that much though. Feels a bit weak to me. Like, I'm not sure what Brute Scale is supposed to be good against, because it doesn't seem good against other combo decks, and it doesn't seem particularly good against mid-range decks either, so because the combo is a creature. So what is the point of Brute Scale? Also, Joseph MTG, thank you very much for a Prime sub. It's better at combo than other more mid-range combo decks. Such as Urza Sword. Oh yeah, I see. The advantage over Urza Sword cannot be underestimated. Dobra, yes, Wish, Grape Shot, I concede. Because my opponent is just having fun at this point. We will bring Drannith Magistrate, God-Pharaoh statue, and Spellstutter Sprites. Could bring a Spellskite to protect them as well. Let's remove the Grindier monsters. Fire targets. I think we can do without them. Or should I just use Ajani as my win con over the Scourge? Might be the case. Because we can Ajani them, plus also God-Pharaoh statue. How do we win without the Reaper King? We'll do just fine. This deck needs Urza's Saga. It is an option I considered. Let's trim one Recruiter for being expensive. Is this hand good enough? Have a Jasper, I have 2 mana, then I can sprite my opponent's first enabler. The issue is that I don't really have access to neither Magda nor Mothdust Changeling, and I only have 1 Changeling. I think I should mulligan against Storm. Would this hand be better if this was a Scourge of Valkas? I guess it would be an easier mulligan. But I don't think against Storm we'll have time to activate Bucolic Ranch. I could see keeping that as non-Storm. Alright. I'll keep and put back the Outcast. What do I name? Fairy? I mean, Let's go with Fairy. Might as well. Antelope. No, you don't really want to name funny types because you do want to actually be able to produce relevant mana for your non-changelings. High name clown. You could do that. It's just not optimal. And we are all about optimal gaming here. Mostly. One is playing around my Spellstutter Sprite. 05 winning a single game can be considered a success? Bro, I'm gonna destroy you. Soon. If you keep chatting like that. By destroy, I mean eradicate your presence from the chat forever. You'll be gone. If I just draw Magda, I can keep our Spellstutter Sprite and be in a fine spot. Opponent is incentivized to just rent resolve here. But they kind of just spend 2 mana and nothing happens. Should bolt my creature, that would be kind of rough. No, I have 3 very Spellstutter as a fairy as well. Alright, that's solid. My opponent only has 4 cards left and those 2 just go away. So we just need to draw Magda. And we fail at that, but if I do draw Magda, I kill my opponent over 2 turns. If I draw Pyre, I can sacrifice the cat, flip Ajani. I don't have a red 1-drop, maybe I should. But I guess there's one Ajani in the deck, so that is sort of a corner case. Magda. 3/3 Mascot. Is good. Mana Morphos, sacrificing the Eldrazi spawn. If they have a Pass and Flames in hand, then they can do stuff, but if they don't, then they are only on 3 cards. They hit my Ajani, interestingly, with their ending, which probably is actually my worst creature. Probably the worst creature to hit. Let's fucking go. Epic beatdowns. Yes! Imagine getting beaten down by this motley crew of monsters. I think I should have the 4th recruiter in my deck because finding the Magistrate or more Sprite sounds just kinda great. I should maybe have Scourge of Valkas over Ajani. A powerful showing, I agree. Let's cut Mox Amber because we drew it and it did nothing this game. Probably worse than a Changeling. A Changeling Outcast. Has the deck impressed yet? Well, you've missed the game we just had, so I'm really impressed during that one. Also, this hand is quite good. Might die to Storm on turn 3, but it might also not die. Let's name Dwarf? Nah, maybe let's go with Advisor. That's a lot of mana, right? Get 4 mana on turn 2, and can't quite grab Magda instantly. 1 mana away from grabbing that Drannith Magistrate as well. Ruby Medallion, rybny. Uh-huh. I see, I see. So the unfun part of all of this is that we likely die. Maybe I should play the Mariner and just chill. Well, Mariner counters Grapeshot, yes. Or rather makes every Grapeshot cost 1 mana to target you. Once they storm off, they can just remove it, but I guess I will just grab Magistrate next turn, most likely. Or I could grab Magda since they are whiffing. Pyre of Heroes. So if I draw Pyre, I will just... Well, this is rough that I don't have the Graveshifter anymore in my deck, but I carried thinking it's gonna be too slow to draw. Let's name the Dwarf with Cavern. We won? Not quite. We need to create 5 treasures as well. I only have 3 Changelings. I can make 4 treasures. But I think I can Recruiter and just grab Drannith Magistrate. That seems like the best. Second Mariner. And then maybe get Magistrate the next turn with Pyre. I think I prefer Magistrate first. Clearly they don't have staff. I think Magistrate is kinda insane here. If I had Graveshifter next turn, we could just use Pyre on Imperial Recruiter to find Graveshifter, get back Recruiter, which is a lot of value. Ritual. This is the Birthing Pod deck of 2025. Pyre of Heroes is sort of a Birthing Pod, yeah. Seems like they have ending to hit the Magistrate. Why do they Ritual then? Makes sense that they would Ritual. Hit Ritual, Rents Resolve. Oh, Monka Gaiga. Lands, not even playing the one from hand. I guess wants to spend mana. Or fin the deck. When is the last sub badge? 5 years? Probably. Oh kurwa, Stormcale Scion. 8 dragons. Who's the dragon deck now? And they also get an Eldrazi spawn on top of that. That's too much, man. MTG bot has a 5-year subscriber badge. I think we lost to Stormscale Scion, chat. Deputy of Detention, I forgot to pack it into my deck list today. Unsettled Mariner not doing much against Stormscale Scion. So seems like we would have done better if I grabbed Magda and made treasures and I grabbed Magda again. The issue is that I can only grab Magda by sacrificing the Automaton or the Mothdust Changeling, so I can't actually combo. You got me wrong. I guess you could sack Mariner for Recruiter, play Magda, but I don't have mana for that. What's the price on that card? 15 euros. It's the cheapest one on Magic Card Market. Solid. Well, mulligans to 5. Probably looking for their Magda or something. Oh, last seen like 4 days ago, Amulet Titan. Alright. We have to go fast if that is truly the case. Let's name Insect. Play the Springleaf Drum and play the Mox Opal. Let's name Dwarf. There is an Amulet sideboard map, it's in the Discord. Join the Discord and you'll find it there. Available for Twitch subscribers. Turn to Magda and Grist. How many insects? Just one. It's always such a bummer because you actually are not likely to make too many, but how many actual changelings are in the deck? You always expect to hit and you never actually hit. But like, all things considered, you only have 16 insects cards. Opponent missed a land number 2. Sacrifice insects. Get a Universal Automaton. Attack, keep the insect token back to block, because why not? And we will combo up next turn. No, bro, let me do that once. Like, you miss a land, that's fine. Why you have to scoop like that? Let's assume they're indeed an amulet, and let's bring my crew of monsters. Harbinger, Magus. Probably should be mono Harbingers, really. Or the Mutavault makes it harder to cast it. Let's cut Mox Amber because it's unplayable in my deck. Masked Vandal times 4 is maybe not the greatest in my deck, actually, now that I think about it, because how do I guarantee monsters in the graveyard? I guess I do with Pyre of Heroes, but that's kinda it. Can also bring one Spellstutter to protect the Magus or Harbinger. I'm not sure why I put 3 Spellskites in the sideboard, that is a bit much, but given that the matchup is non-grindy, we can trim Grist, Specialist especially probably, and Grist, given that we bring in all their impactful free drops. Maybe I want more Spellskites over Ajani as well, given that all I want is to protect a Magus against Amulet, which is why I leave the third one in the sideboard. Mox Jasper good, Mox Jasper incredible. It is actually pretty incredible in this deck, frankly. It's a bad hand, I now die, probably, but we get to turn to Magda and Mariner. And we have 2 drums to tap our newly summoned changelings. 3/3 Mascot actual best card of Bloomburrow. Forget Heartfire Hero. Forget Manifold Mouse and as Emberheart Challenger. Don't even think about... Alright, I actually ran out of Bloomburrow cards pretty quickly. there anything else that's relevant in that set besides the mice? Thundertrap Trainer, Storm Chaser's Talent. Forget those. You had to look those up. You didn't need to look up Mascot, exactly. Well. Any point in summoning the Mariner first? Not really, right? I can play... Well, I can play Mariner and Magda. But better to just save treasures? Isn't it? Build up to 5 treasures to get Scourge of Valkas. I could have played the other Springleaf Drum though. Could have done that. Mana counting in this deck is a bit rough. Holy shit, so much fast mana. Let's name Antelope as chat requested. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9, 10 mana. Holy shit. Could cast Ulamog next turn. Also, a villain could play a Pyroclasm. And that would be ugly. Are we the villain? Well, are we? So now I'll use Magda. And it's an interesting question. What do we get? Because I'm not actually sure. We don't have a clean win from this position. The pool combo requires an artifact changeling as well, which we don't have access to. So I think what I'm actually getting is going to be Pyre of Heroes and Imperial Recruiter, Harbinger of Disease. Jasper is off now. Now the lands are islands, so my point cannot even cast a sweeper. Is there no other cool dragons to play? Well, there's plenty of cool dragons to play, but one of the drafts of this deck contained Bolas's Citadel, which also could be something we play. Yeah, clearly deck working as intended, bullying a fellow pure amuleter with Magus and Harbinger in the same deck. Holy shit, this is like Emery Tamio turn 1 openings. Lades shan't pass. As a name, insect. Really good paid actor, yeah, thank you. think I'll play the turn 1 Pyre. This round might mean counterspell, and we get the Pyre down before my opponent has access to any counter magic, which might be good, right? Seems like blue-black, Murktide. It is pretty wild that I get just a Mox that seems to work on turn 1. Spellstutter would have been funny, I know, but like I can't play around Snare by waiting. Seems like I'll just play Universal Automaton and Grist. Then we can turn the Grist insects into Pyre. Fuel. Or I get Magda. Pyre is sorcery only, yes. Would be too strong to spend 2 mana at instant speed for such amount of value. Bro, it's never 2 insects. Like, what is this? This deck is supposed to make many insects. Allegedly. World record of number of insects made by Grist uptick, and like my world record, I guess world record is by definition worldwide. I don't think I made too many. Maybe 6 or 7. But the world record is, who knows. I did play an insect tribal deck one time with Crawl Harpooners and some other wild additions. Sauron's Ransom. Whatever. Just grab whichever two you want. I will. Okay, I'll just tell my point. What's in the face down pile? Can I add manual league records? I can't. That would require me to click in a way that I don't want to. But yeah, as per set update, it's gone for now. As every set update. Having fun, certainly. Can't you see? Alright, we combo off. At least I think so. Because I get the Clock of Omens now. And I have extra Mox into that. Yeah. We make infinite top treasures and we fetch every dragon and artifact from the deck now. We getting there, chat. Is Magda Changelings actually broken? Question mark. We have to be careful not to plus Grease, because if I mill over my Scourge of Valkas, it's gonna be a bit annoying. You could also try to win with Ajani, but that seems very time consuming compared to winning with Scourge of Valkas. Can we mill and win a Grist ult? Not really. How do I mill? Oh, we can't even get Ajani. I would need to Pyre for Ajani. One of Paradox Engine? Probably not. Now we summon Changelings from the deck because every Changeling is a dragon, so Scourge of Valkas triggers as I get more Mariners. Awesome. Opponent has been successfully Magda Changelinged. Who thought of the Clock of Omens Magda combo? Probably some EDH thing. I think the first time, like the Magda Changeling history on this stream is actually pretty lengthy. What is the combo made? Explain to me. Magda, Clock of Omens, Universal Automaton. Tap treasure and automaton to untap automaton. You make an extra treasure and you untap automaton. So you create infinite tap treasures. Magda fetches everything from the deck. Do we want Ureni? Let's bring in Ureni. So we should name Dragon with our Cavern because this seems really good if we can cast it with Cavern. And getting to 8 mana sounds not too bad. And a 10-10 flying protection from black. It might be smaller than a Murktide in some spots, which is a bit rough. Can use Spellskite. Blight Seal, very good question. I love that you asked it. Let's cut Mox Amber for being bad, and let's bring in Spellstutter Sprite. Let's bring in 2 more sprites. We can try to trim maybe 1 Pyre. Don't want to draw multiples, and 1 Drum. Let's go. Still haven't drawn a single Mutavault, so I wouldn't have drawn Urza Saga either. Awesome hand. No Cavern only. Turn 1 Reflecting Pool. We already had, like the first hand we drew was a 1-lander with Reflecting Pool chat. So it's only getting better from now on. It can get worse. Alright, I guess I will add a manual record. They took my Spellstutter Sprite, so seems like it was good. I'll shock in for no reason, taking 2 damage just because I want to waste some life points. Absolutely shouldn't have done that. I've played a Magda ADH deck. Cards like Liquid Metal Coating are a big component used to make it worth untappable by Clock of Omens. That's crazy. Why wouldn't you just use... Universal Automaton. Bro, if you spellsend my Magda, I will hate you. If you Stern Scalding Hair, that's even worse. Dupa kurwa. I wonder if my deck can get Harbinger. Mytherian and Phoenix Flamerino, thank you bros for the subs. Giga based. Murktide 5-5 already, what the heck? It's way too early for that. Seems like I should get Grist. I'll play out that Mothdust Changeling if you want to kill it, then sure. I think it's a bit too hard to combo off with Magda in the face of Murktide attacking me. Preordain. 2 top. That's not a great sign. No dupa. I'm not seeing this game going well. Frog is so unfun. +1 broski. Top 2 fetch. They just tricked us. They actually didn't want the second card, but they pretended to. If I draw Magda now and they have 2 blanks, maybe we can do something. Magda. Kurwa. Jedziemy. The song unending. Rawr. What is even... So something is wrong with the artwork. Their face looks so funny here. I guess its mouth is open. That's what it is, but it looks so off. To life. If I draw Magda now and my opponent has 3 blanks, we can still win. That's still true next turn. No! We died. Fatal Push is overpowered, chat. I think cutting Pyre of Heroes against the Frog deck is not good. I should keep them. I think the Spellstutter Sprite, I don't know. Helps me fight on the stack a little bit. The greed attack. Yes, I'm greedy. Is that such a bad thing? Ajani seems sus to you? No, it's great with Pyre. You don't get it. Let me trim another Springleaf Drum. Seems bound into explosives as well, sort of. This is unfortunately a 1-lander, and we do have a Clock of Omens in our hand, which is really nice, but I think we can do better. Okay. We have the Ram Ranch. So we can outgrind them with Ram Ranch. How comes we haven't played Urza yet? I just don't play new decks, I play Titan, that's how. And Mox Jasper is new and broken, so I have to play with it. Oh yeah. Mount is a creature type, yes, what else, right? But Treasure is not a creature type, it should have been. Bro, you pushing my Outcast, you should have pushed the Universal Automaton, it's straight up better in my deck. Villains have no idea how to play against Magda Changeling's SMH head. So I guess we're gonna name Dragon. Because I have the Dragon in my hand. That costs red, so I need to draw an extra color of mana. 1 Mount, 1 Dragon equals Unsettled Mariner. If they Bowmaster my Universal Automaton, I will cry. Oh yeah. This is brutal, chat. Why is interaction so good in Magic the Gathering? Really, that's the biggest downside of the game, that it's just so centered around destructive interaction that's literally the best thing you could do. Because an average opening hand in Magic has what? 3 spells? So if you just destroy 2 of your opponent's spells, then they are left with nothing. Try Commander. Also you got Harbinger, which is pretty funny against my 4 of Jasper, 4 Opal deck, but it's gonna work here. Kinda not true, right? Control decks also suck. Well, they suck, but I think that is still true. Because I don't have destructive interaction, my opponent does, and they are winning. Yes, Ria, that's actually the best thing. You have destructive interaction and you like destroy all but one of your opponent's cards, and then you're left with a better one, which is a Flage or Ocelot Pride. Or Psychic Frog. And the land system makes it so that playing with standalone bad cards is really rough. Because you are baseline giga weak against destructive interaction. Which is just the nature of Magic the Gathering, but when you try to make Magda Changelings work, it is a bit rough. Dobra, już nie będę udawać. It is possible if cards weren't made for draft. This is some Da Vinci theory. What does that mean? By definition, there's gonna be cards that are bad and good. Go. Maybe what this deck needs is a Changeling Outcast apparition. No, it needs the beauty of detonation. We have learned that first match. Unfortunately, my Jasper is off, but summon Ajani. Underground Mortuary. Let's hacking go. Putting a swamp into their graveyard. Forest. If they Bowmaster my Magda, I'll cry. Wall of Roots is fine. I accept that. Pyre of Heroes. Okay. Oh, holy fucking shit, Chad. We can do the Ajani thing. I even miss an attack because I don't care. Actually relevant because they would have blocked with the Wall of Roots. There should be a Changeling that makes free treasures when it taps, or when it dies, or just makes treasures in some easy way. It's really a bummer that such a card doesn't exist. Oh, they just scooped. So we're up against Yawgmoth. Is Ureni good against Yawgmoth? Not really. Maguses, Masked Vandal, Spellstutter Sprite. None of my sideboard cards look particularly good into Yawgmoth. Could bring in Realm Walker as a grindy tool, but there's no point. So I think we're just gonna resubmit. We don't really have anything. Opponent didn't sideboard for too long either. They were just like, yeah, I mean, I don't have any shit for a Changeling deck in my sideboard. Challenge indeed. 3 pyres? Oh wow, that is too much. Masked Vandal looking great. No room for sideboard 10, maybe in the next league. Let's name Dwarf. Need to draw a land or an artifact for my Mox Opals. This is a very bold pile of magic cards you got there. Oh, for sure it is. Dorks, alright. Louis Ekwood, thank you very much for the sub, by the way. I appreciate the heck out of it. As much as I appreciate not being able to play any cards right now. This is so sad. I got a Soul Cauldron, but nothing to grant abilities to. And more halflings, so opponent is flooded. We have a chance. We have a shot. Just let's draw a land now, or maybe even better, Universal Changeling. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. Insects. Ragavan 3 Ace Treasures, but it is not a challenging, like... I am aware of the fact that there are cards that create treasures in the history of Magic the Gathering. Just needs to be a bit more than just that. I think I don't play a Masked Vandal. Well, Ragavan is also just not a dwarf. It doesn't like... I guess you just play Ragavan to make treasures because a hashtag good card, but... What if we had a... Academy Manufactor? Though... Maybe that's a way to build a deck. If only Academy Manufactor was a dwarf, though. Academy Manufactor, then you can just draw your deck if you have the Clock of Omens combo, because you can just tap your clues for free. So you have infinite mana, infinite draw, infinite life. Great insect. I'm so happy they did not kill my Magda. Why playing the 2 red dragon over Terror of the Peaks for clicking speed? Yeah, I guess Terror of the Peaks is better. I mean, it does cap your damage. Your changelings have like 2 points of power each. I don't know which one is better to draw. I don't know if it's clear. Sorn. If you would create 1 or more treasure tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional treasure token. Holy shit. Terror is gonna be 2 damage per changeling because you do have Magda, which boosts your changelings. Hard to cast? I don't really think so. We can... I guess if I name Dragon, I should name Dragon more often. But I'm not sure what to name. Lag? Bro, I'm just thinking about my play. I don't know, like I never know what to answer to people saying lag when you take more than 0.000 seconds to make a play. Feels kinda weird. I will kill your cauldron. JK, actually I will not. Mox Titan when? Next Wednesday? Maybe? It is actually Wednesday today. Holy shit, so Magda Changelings is happening next Wednesday. Why not killing the Cauldron? Because I need a creature in my graveyard. If I don't, so that's a problem. This can get to 4 treasures. I guess I'll just kill next turn. Can't now. They're making insects. If they don't find Jogmoth, we're good. Pyre of Heroes is sorcery speed only indeed, yes. It would be way too overpowered at instant speed, so they had to limit its capabilities. 0 mana Walking Ballista is a bit rough because they will shoot down my monsters. I mean, they have 2 counters, so they can shoot 2 things unless they do something cooler. Or fetch a Young Wolf. Do we have Clock of Omen? Of course. Of course we do. You just wait until we clock all of our omens. Whoa! Force of Vigor? What the hell? Okay, I have a Pyre, but does that let me do anything actually? Can activate Magda. Did I bring in Ureni? Unfortunately, I did not. Oh, this would be a sick Ureni spot. Kinda. Actually, it wouldn't. Well, it would be fine. Ureni would deal 3 damage. That doesn't really seem all that great. Because Grist can... If you ult Grist and you can Cauldron Grist and you can kill Grist with a half... I guess you can't. Ureni would have been pretty good. And what now? We get to 5 treasures still. And I can get Scourge of Valkas. Deal 5 damage. Kills Grist. Which I'm not sure is actually all that good. But we're a bit short of Clock of Omens ink. Or maybe I just get a Masked Vandal, but I only have 1. They put Grist under Cauldron anyways. Yeah, but that makes insects, doesn't kill creatures. We should have a banger in the deck. for spots like this. Which could have been sideboarding Ureni and killing 3 monsters. I think Scourge of Valkas it is. Wait, it doesn't even kill the Grist. Maybe that's even better. 1, 2, 3. Because Magda is not a Changeling, of course. You mean Bogard and Hellkite? No, Ureni. The best dragon. Villain found Yawgmoth. I can kill everything I have and draw 10,000 cards. That's fine. You have defeated me. You have bested me. Let's bring in Ureni. Maybe Ajani. Or Mox Amber for being useless. Portal of Phyrexia is a fine banger. It would not be really all that good in this spot against Cauldron. Well, this hand doesn't do anything. The specialist doesn't do anything by itself, so I just have 3 mana on turn 2. I think I have to mulligan. This is a 1-lander, which is challenging in its own right. Let's go to 5. This has Magda, Mothdust Changeling, 2 lands, Pyre. Awesome. Would be incredible if I could maybe just not mulligan with this hand, but if my opponent has a hand that's low on interaction, I think this hand matches up pretty well actually. I get to summon a turn 3 Ureni, shoot my opponent's Sapling down. Now if they play a Fatal Push or Thoughtseize, I'm fucked. Awesome. This has flying, so I can attack. I'm still. No, don't Bowmeister me, bro. Just play a Wall of Roots. Nah, that's like Bowmaster, but a bit worse. So, not as bad, but... I think I will Pyre for Magda. Maybe I should Pyre for Ajani here. This is the Pyre for Ajani spot, chat, actually. Let's fucking go, Ajani. Get them. Cauldron. It's a bit rough. But also not so bad, right? I'm still... Now, I think I will summon 3/3 Mascot. Sacrifice it, which counts as sacrificing a card, which flips my Ajani. I get a free drop, which is... I kind of wanted to get a 2-drop, actually, but I guess that's fine. But I couldn't get a 2-drop. If I could get a 2-drop, I could get Masked Vandal, kill this, that would be awesome. I'll get Extraction Specialist, summon Magda. Then I will just shoot face with Ajani. Power level is through the roof. Well, I will not disagree. It certainly is through. I kill my Magda. So yeah, I guess it doesn't trigger, that's fine. I can't attack because if I attack, then Wolf dies and has a counter to shoot Magda again, which is bad. So Pyre Ajani angle working excellently. Really working as intended. We're doing so much stuff. Now, Prosperous Innkeeper means they gain infinite life, but we could deal infinite damage almost. Provided they can kill their wolf. Or put a counter on it, which they can. Okay. Choose Boseju. Can we deal infinite? No, we can't. There's no loop. We can just deal a lot. But, you know, it's Magic Online. It's good. Oh, the issue is now I don't have a 1-drop still. So I can't summon anything useful. They don't activate the Cauldron. Playing around with what? A removal spell? Perhaps. Ajani's ultimate kills. Forces your opponent to perform a cataclysm on their non-lands, if that's of any help. Each opponent chooses an artifact, a creature, and a summon, and a planeswalker from among the non-land paramount they control, then sacrifices the rest. I think I've had Ajani's -4 ability activated against me once. It's kind of wild that it's so achievable and you just never choose to do it because the 0 is so overtuned. Or maybe not overtuned, but so OP. They can sacrifice 5 treasures to get a dragon. Holy hecking crap. Or an artifact. Brazen Outlaw. So yeah, that's an issue. We should have an infinite loop of some sorts in our Changeling deck to combat the young wolf issue. Unfortunately we don't, so not much to do about it. Your move. My Ajani killed your Grist. I am waiting for your next step. I wonder what's the highest number of damage that my Changeling deck can generate in any game. Now this seems like infinite damage because I sacrificed a wolf, except that I have the Masked Vandal, Mariner rather. So it doesn't quite work. But they can draw any amount of cards they want. Which they do play the Innkeeper, so I don't think they play a Blood Artist. Typically Innkeeper takes that slot. Why is an opponent killing you? Well, what are they doing? I have the Mariner, they can't Ballista. Kill me. They do have fewer cards in their deck, so I guess if they draw, then I can just win by milling them. Sell Halfling with Cauldron, but the Cauldron is stopped. They go wide, what else? Well, if they go wide, I guess I win, right? On my turn. They'll have Fossil Vigors, however many they have brought. Yeah, you can also -4 with Ajani. I guess Fossil Vigor doesn't work because of Mariner, or is it only creature? Permanent, holy shit. They can ping and sack, you are dead actually. Chad, read Unsettled Mariner and then we're gonna talk. I'm not talking to people who don't read Unsettled Mariner. I'm not interested in having a discussion with people who just ignore onboard cards. So I just need to stay at a larger deck size than them, technically, to like not lose to infinite life. I did not even notice it, I know. I know, Chad, I figured. First I'll get Scourge of Valkas. My opponent's gonna, what, combo off in response to me comboing off to gain life. Cool. So maybe let's zero Ajani to kill the Jogmoth. Okay. Play Reflecting Pool. Spend 5 treasures to summon Masked Vandal. Shoot face. Hit the Agatha Soul Cauldron. Can someone explain to me why Yawgmoth plays Dredges inside? It's to get to infinite life and offset the Yawgmoth life loss. But Cauldron, Ballista, Dredges inside. Young Wolf is infinite life. BRB getting some coffee. Alright. So every Scourge of Valkas activation deals even more damage to my opponent, so I'm not worried about anything here. We'll be fine clockwise. They back at Ballista? Yeah, because of Dredges inside, that's because of that combo. So in paper, if my opponent actually announced infinite life, I would need to kill all of their creatures and get 4 Mariners into play, but keep in mind that I need to have a bigger deck size than they do, and if I do, then I just win by milling them. Which I think should be possible. Because then I can summon Changelings at instant speed, kill things. But certainly would be a bit annoying to play out. Ajani, the song Unending, let's fucking go. Divide X damage. Done. Mariner. Face. Mariner. What an incredible deck Magda Changeling is, chat. Seems like we're gonna be 2-2 in this modern league. It's kind of crazy that Magda has both a payoff and both a payoff and an enabler and a win con in the combo. Whoa! 2-2. DB Canister wins the match. Holy hecking guacamole. Opponent on John Saga. I could just win, or I could get interacted and die horribly. But my opening hand, so much mana. Automaton, Mox, Mariner. Kinda crazy. So I'm not really afraid of interaction early from my opponent. And I get to make 2 treasures on turn 2 and maybe treasures on turn 3. Would be rough if my opponent plays a Ragavan. Welcome Raiders. Respecticat MTG. Hope you had a good stream with some new incredible Dragonstorm cards, or maybe just some boring ass other stuff. Let's name Dragon to induce fear into my opponent. Play Magda, Brazil Outlaw. And just tap my creatures the simplest way that there is, by attacking. It would be good to have a Changeling with some sick mana sink ability. I don't know if that exists though. Well, there's also one extra thing we could do, because there is the Valiant. Oh, it's just energy. Valiant Changeling, which is a 7 mana Changeling, which costs 2 mana if you have another Changeling in play. So we could play that, and then we could Pyre it into either Ureni or Griselbrand. Clock of Omens, let's fucking go. Or maybe some other 8 drops. Mutavault? Well, I do have Mutavault, yes. Why with Mutavault, bro? I have so many Mox and I don't care about the Mutavault. The Mutavault is in a spell slot. In this deck, actually. If I draw Magda now, I should win, given that I have Clock in play. Mirror Entity is just the best for mana sink into damage. Mirror Entity actually sounds solid to have. With all the Moxen. Definitely should have one. Is it Changeling as well? Grist, Dolets. Nice Courtyard, Cavern, all of that, but we're good. And of course, we just make a single insect because you can't make any more insects, plausibly. Opponent not yet aware that we are the superior Ajani deck, not aware. Whoa, Surville Flash with Arena in play? Brutal. What's next? Fable of the Mirror Breaker? Seasoned Pyromancer? Kill my challenging. No nie, no dupa. O, Mill Magda. Okay, at least it didn't have fetch. Attacking Grease? Honestly, sure. If they attacked me, that would have been better. But maybe they will not be able to escape Flash next turn. They should have for sure attacked last turn. Crazy draw. I agree. I can't block their monsters because of Ajani and even more so Flash. They got my Mox Opal. No nie, no Caverna znowu. I need something more. We milled Mutavault, but we only get one insect. That is unfair. If I draw Graveshifter, we can win. They hit another Mox Opal. That's crazy. Are there any new cards in TD that might slot into Amulet you should look into picking up? No. Not a single one. Season Pyro, that's a draw too, as long as they don't draw a fetch or anything that goes into the graveyard. Just, let's say, a Guide of Souls and an Ocelot Pride. We can win next turn. No I dupa, Fey flashback the flash. Kill my Changeling Jinx. Fucked. Drew the wrong one drop. I guess energy we can use Spellskite to protect from removal. It's good against flash because flash deals free damage, so you can redirect. And then you're good. You can cut Mox Amber for being bad as usual. Maybe a single Mox Opal and a Springleaf Drum to flood a bit less. And submit. Maybe I should bring Ureni, the song unending, but it's good. Would you like to play spell? Play first. Yeah, I would like hacking love to. This was the game where I went turn 1 Automaton into Mariner. Also, I'm drawing Steam Vents like in every single opening hand I draw. Welcome Raiders from Itaka GG stream. There might be some utility with Mirror Entity and the Combo Dragon. What's the Combo Dragon? I do agree, like it sounds really good to have a Mirror Entity. They've brought out Masked Vandal probably, maybe. Seems a bit bad, maybe. Can't afford to block Ocelot Pride and then lose my dragon. Stony Silence? No, yeah. That is actually fairly annoying. That is actually really annoying. Because I can't play the Mothdust Changeling and Magda in the same turn unless I draw a land. It does stop the Clock of Omens thing as well. Stony Silence just looks pretty good against my deck, thinking about it a bit more. There's plenty of artifacts, so it just blanks. 15 cards. 10 mana. Killed my guy, okay, that sucks. Maybe I should double block the Assault Pride, but... Okay, okay, we have some game. If my opponent has no more removal. Plage. We have no game. No game, no bitches. Just getting flashed. It is every single time I play with creatures against energy. It is wild how overwhelming Flash Ajani, Ocelot Pride is. How crazy all of that is. You just kind of cannot engage with those creatures in combat because it just simply doesn't work. So you just can't. They're better than you at everything. So just you play creatures, but they can attack, can't block. Can't block Ocelot Pride ever. Because the Ajani flips cannot not block it because it makes 10,000 cards. Creatures die to flash anyways, if you play them. Maybe they don't have a fetch now. They miss a Landra Blast turn, and then I can go Magda and actually... I guess the issue is I can't win with Clock of Omens right now. Because Stony Silence stops that. It's not a draft for this, guys. That's funny. That doesn't seem that good. Pretty weird move. I guess I die as soon as they hit a land drop to flashback flash, of course, but that was funny. What do I recruit for? Probably just Mothdust Challenging. I can't remove my opponent's graveyard. Could be potentially useful to have something that interacts with my opponent's graveyard. For a spot like this, but unfortunately it was a deck building omission. Seasoned Pyromancer will make it so that they will actually hit their land for flash. Cleansing Wildfire, wear tear. I guess I have 0 basics, so Cleansing Wildfire is a little bit brutal. No plus 1 ziomuś. So I just have no outs to flash, ever. Because I can't kill it. I can maybe grist it. Can trade with it, with the Scourge of Valkas. That's kinda it. There should be a creature that lets you exile, flash from the graveyard on ATB, but also create a copy that doesn't die. To actually punish playing Fledge a little bit. I'm not sure how to exactly... Yes, put this on the bottom. I'm not sure how I would exactly phrase the card, how I would word the effect, but you get the idea, right? No, my Ram Ranch has been cleansed. I will not shuffle as I do not want to redraw the Clock of Omens. But my opponent has 5 cards in the graveyard, so they can recast Flash. I'll kindly just let myself scoop this game because the level of patheticness of my draw compared to what my opponent was doing was too much for me to take in this last match. So we went 2-3 with Magda Changelings, which I think is roughly probably better than how we usually did. I think I did flood a little bit. I also had 1 lander, so it is a bit tough, the mana wise. If we were to improve the...